Devon. Can you hear me? Oh, you just connected.
Oh, hello. Let me get my video.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Good.
So, what do I have the pleasure of chatting with you today about?
Okay, so I let me try not to be long-winded. I'm interested. I'm interested.
Of the wind, of the long-winded.
And I'm not usually long-winded, but I was feeling myself going there. But to make a long story short, I have used a couple of your opt-ins and they worked well for me. I built out an 8-week program, but I was working with someone and I felt like I needed to, or I was directed to do a 90-day program. And so one of the things that I felt like I was missing was a longer meal plan and some additional resources. And I was trying to decide between the 60-day weight loss and the reboot program. I guess the overarching goal of my program is to help women lose the excess fat. So weight loss is definitely a big part of it. But some of the things that I had worked into there were mindful eating and talking about enjoyable exercise and different things like that. So I really liked a lot of the content in the reboot, but then
the concept of reboot. I mean, I would say this. Let's just look at them both because I wrote 60-day weight loss because I loved so much of that Janine Roth and that find, the mindfulness and being conscious to intuitive eating, but I'm not like an intuitive eating kind of coach because I attracted more a woman who was like, I need a little psycho mom, help me. And she did want weight loss, but she also was inspired by so many of the things that I do in my life to kind of stay calm even in the midst of a storm. I wrote that because I loved Cynthia Pasquarella, and I love this approach where it's she kind of is that fun, and she's got that whole hey, but she also talks a lot about what's actually eating you. So in Reboot, I kind of thought of somebody who was doing more of a one-on-one, a longer one-on-one.
Okay.
And wanted to cover what I call those pillars of, you got to do this. You have to eat healthy, and you have to do all these different things that embody actually how hard it is to take care of yourself. But they both have a little different of a feel. And I think really looking at this as more, what really feeds in your kind of verbiage and your vision with both of them, to make it so you don't feel like you're having to do a lot in the changing, but you can spend more time. I always created little videos, even if I was working in a group, even if I was working in my one-on-one, because I just realized people need them. And even though we're giving them these programs, they do need that oh my God, so wait, how do I actually do this? How do I actually follow? So these can, and I will just show you, be 100% expanded to even a longer, because even in this first 2 weeks, I did a lot of this with either a client or teaching these fundamentals, but I really think even expanding this, I mean, look, it's even just 4 to 12, I feel is a lot for somebody. And that could even be your first 2 weeks, but you'll see, or If you don't want to do 4 months, the way that I did my programs is I always started everyone on the basics. We would do like 2 weeks always of getting like the affirmations, putting our vision board together, you know, and people would get more comfortable instead of just being like, we're starting. So I actually would give them a separate, I made
type period.
and I made it like a little book for my business. It was called like reframe your mindset. And it's very similar to some of the ones that we have for either like the vision board or the affirmations, just giving someone a place before they get in to this, that they're clear on their goals. You know, you're still having them get acquainted in that 2 week, but you guys are really in there to like get that all like, we can do it. Even in my one-on-one, I did that. I found that the first 2 weeks, even just getting someone to understand the right electrolytes and minerals and probiotics and like lessening any fear took that.
Okay.
But look at both.
I really liked the handouts in the 60-day, like I think there was like a sugar one, just like the helpful tips, but then I also liked the presentations in the reboot. So.
And look at both. I mean, I would say like whatever you feel is kind of better for how you envision this, because pulling over content to a PowerPoint is not difficult as long as you like know what you want to, because you're copying and pasting right over. It's like the key points. You're like, okay, ladies, let's talk about making your water yummy. Because I don't know one person who I don't like to drink water. I mean, I like water with stuff in it.
Yeah.
That was a big thing of even just getting people to do that. So we would spend a lot on like all different ways to make your water yummy and not to get bored. So this is a lot of, you know, kind of like reframing the home in this first 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, I think that, you know, what people will likely come to me for first is they want this type of content.
Are you doing this in your one-on-one and a group possibly?
Well, yeah, well, I'm looking for something to support the one-on-one endeavor that I'm doing. And you know, depending on what's much, you know, it could be supported in a Facebook group, but I'm mainly thinking one-on-one for now.
Yeah, I love doing groups for weight loss. I have found that longer, this would be like when people are really committed and you want to be in a group, because I feel like for anybody even to commit to 2 months, that's great, where you're actually working intensively with some women in that group. They're in a group, but they're also getting personal attention from you. But either can be used. I mean, I'll show you. Yeah. I mean, you could even from this, you take this screenshot it, make it a handout, or just, you know, copy and paste to another page. Because even just that one.
Yeah.
I mean, especially in one-on-one, I feel like we often would be like, oh, we're going to cover all this. And then it goes completely a different way because that human being is struggling with maybe their relationship at home, or they're depressed because they've never been able to lose weight, or they feel XYZ. So even just that, working on that's, I think, even a whole session sometimes. But you see how it's like we get into the creating a vision board. You could at the beginning if you wanted. Everyone runs their one-on-ones different. I had people who come to me and they're like, give me the solution. And then they were open to talk about like the mindset. It's just the kind of person that I attracted, where some people are the opposite and they run it completely the opposite way, where it's like you have to kind of get really committed in that space. But you can really do either.
Okay, so it's delivered like this, the
Yeah, and the way that I always built out my Dropbox for one-on-one is I would, the way actually we create content, I had all my guides in one place. I had it all named of the program and the goal of that program and who, in my mind, who it would really fit. So if I was working with somebody one-on-one, it was so easy to just then like pull the handouts. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Usually keep this. Pull the handouts, pull everything and be able to, I'm so sorry. I rarely do this, but this girl just, hold on. Sorry. Pre-launch stuff. I'm like, oh no, she's saying something. No. But I always just had my handouts there because one, it was really great in my one-on-one. Two, those handouts are unbelievable for live, for videos, for blog content. If you wanted to do a video on that, that's also what a lot of coaches we miss in our digital marketing is to really show people like, hey, when you work with me, this is exactly what our process looks like. But we will look at the other program too. I mean, you can do so much with content, so much. I mean, I've even had clients of mine where we've broken this down because they were like, hey, I have a lot of women who don't necessarily want to come for 60 days. I'm like, break it down. Say 2 weeks, we're going to be covering this. This is only X amount of dollars. For a lot of our clients, they get scared to commit. So you can break them really down in any different way. This is the part where you will always, as I mentioned, be able to do the affirmations, but I always feel like if somebody's leaving at the end, to really just arm them with the things that they need for that transition for themselves to be able to, do what they need to do in this life. But this is also really great too. I mean, I think it's more about thinking about what your ideal client actually wants, like what experiences is she looking for from you. Because she's still going to have the food that she's changing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, this was helpful because I love this, but I guess like I'm more at this level than understanding what this means as opposed to my clients that would be attracted.
About you saying that, Devon, is that I've had so many discussions with coaches. I mean, I would say especially in this last year, because I have a lot of people who say, I don't get it. Like I either spent so much time to create a program and it's not actually who I'm attracting. Right. And you say, did you create that program around your ideal client, or was that like your soul, like, exactly. And I love that you're saying that because that was my biggest struggle in the first like year or two. It was like finding actually who is attracted to me versus who I thought. And that's why I always say it's great when you test with freebies and test to really see what your people are looking for. I think between those two, that is maybe like that next step for her, that next, like, I've gotten it. But you can still buffer that one and start her off with something that is, or blend in like the power of affirmations, because I'll just show you that one, how amazing.
And as you're finding that, I did the skinny black dress challenge, and that attracted a lot of that helped me build my Facebook group. So,
Yeah, and that's one. Love that one, and I also love it because for a lot of people, that is what it's fun, it's cute, it's what people want. It doesn't mean that's where we're taking them, and I think that's one of the biggest disconnects that a lot of us have. There is, you know what? Let me go look online on our site, because this one. I thought when we put this out, oh, I know what I would have done with this. Here's like how to create a positive life. Here's how to create a happy bundle. And I'll just show you just some options if you wanted to, or there's one even less pages, but it's like you could also start them with like a journal practice. Okay. You can start with kind of doing affirmations. I think I just showed you this one. So if you felt that you wanted that to be a part of what I call like your onboarding process, you can still easily do something like that and get somebody to do, you know, the journaling, get somebody to, you know, start that off in the beginning.
Okay, I like that. And you're saying, put this before either one of the programs, or it works better before the 60-day program?
You could do a little both. The way that I always used any kind of handouts is it was almost like homework. Like some people are like, wow, I mean, I'm doing the homework in here. I mean, I already went for my pro-bac, and it's like, okay, let's really talk about like these triggers that like make you unhappy, because that's why we get into our addictive behaviors. Right. And it's like, so, okay, let's start with like a journal. Let's start with doing the I am statements, the law of attraction. It's like getting them to actually reframe, giving the tools instead of just being like, meditate. Because if you say that to a crazy kind of person like me, I'm like, meditate like what? Like dance? Like, and I've even said that, like, okay, so like, can I exercise? Can I rebound? But I think when we give people a little more structure of like, here's this document, you could have that and say, you know, we're going to start off first with like doing this vision board, writing down what our goals are, like really get somebody, or even pull from the content if pull from the content and just do that. But you can always start that first 2 weeks if it's a 3 month. Start that weeks as kind of like cleaning out the cabinets, like pulling from kind of that, saying, you know, we are going to start this program, but we're also going to, you know, in this 2 weeks, even talk about like, why are you here?
Okay, I like that.
Because my addictive behaviors are, and so if you're struggling with weight, let's talk about like what's at the root of that. And then actually use those documents more as like the self-awareness scale. And then even say, you know, look, we're going to work this week on I am statements. Like it's been proven, like, you know, Stephen Covey talks about this. So like, let's rewire the day. And you can still, of course, especially in one-on-one, you know, take somebody through that journey in your one-on-one, because one-on-one is like the ongoing flow. We can have the structure for us and the structure for them, but still at the end of the day, all these different things come up when we allow space for that. And then that person has the experience that we really desire. They're like, wow, I thought that this would be, you know, great. I really didn't think that this was going to help me in this way that you've seen me. You don't think I'm crazy. You're not telling me, oh, that's so stupid. You shouldn't feel that way, which is the language that we have in our heads. Like, I shouldn't do that. Oh, I'm so stupid. No, don't do that. And I think that's the biggest thing of coaching that sometimes we forget, is that is that transformation, is to have that open discussion.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense because I want them to have the full transformation that lasts as opposed to drop 30 pounds and then everything's still discombobulated.
But I think the hardest thing also as coaches, and we only learn this when we start coaching and we're like, I thought that was going to go a little different. Yeah. It's not everyone, even our ideal clients, not everyone is willing to go there because it is painful and it does require a lot of work. I think when I look at content or handouts or, things that have been given to me by people I've worked with, they're like structure sounding boards. It's like, I've got to do 5 I am statements today. You could easily pull them off of anywhere. But that just saves you time so that you have these worksheets in your one-on-one. Plus you have them in a group. You can be like, girls, ladies, we just finished the 7-day, skinny black dress. What I'm doing in my one-on-one is we're doing I am statements. I'm going to put an I am statement every day in here. Let's, and really bleed what you're doing in your one-on-one. So you start to actually not just talk the intangibles, which is the transformation, but people are actually like seeing that, feeling you, and they're like, I have to work with this person.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
That's what I call old school, because that's not like in a book, and it's not about a platform. It's about just like thinking about how scary it is to change, and what we need.
Yeah. Thank you, Rachel. I really appreciate you. I have made my decision now, so thank you. Mission accomplished.
I would say also, just this from my own thinking, I wasn't going to make it, and that I was a girl fumbling through sheets, and it's just like give yourself a little compassion tap, and also to know that like I think us as coaches, because we are attracted so much to that transformation, we also have to remember that we will change our clients' lives no matter what. As long as we show up like always thinking about them, and even when we flubber and we have those moments, and that at the end of the day, our clients really want to be seen, because we live in a world where it's like, oh no, you shouldn't have that. I mean, I even just got off a call with a doctor. It was amazing. And she even was like, oh, well, this doesn't make sense. And I could feel myself being like, I don't know if we're the right fit. And I sat there and I was like, no, she's really great. It's just that's a certain style, and it's not one that I operate with. And I think the part about our clients is we just want somebody to not deny us of our voice, but to also help us transform to the next place. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Thank you for saying that, because especially in the beginning of the journey, you're like,
The doubt is beyond. I mean, we were having a conversation in my membership today, and just about the confidence that it takes, and being able to like stop the negative Nellies, because they're like, you're not going to do this, all just that stuff, and to know that our journey, the good, the bad, and the ugly, the triumphs, and who we are, it's for a reason, so that we can help somebody and save them a little of that pain.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you. I feel better. Thank you.
It's all, I mean, that's why I always say, yeah, you gotta have your beginning like, but it gets so much better. It gets so much easier, and it starts to just flow. And that's why I'm so excited that you did the freebies, and now you just have a clear vision.
Mm-hmm. For sure. All right, now let's get ready to launch and make a real difference.
Launching your business right away? You waiting until September for like a kind of like, hey guys, or are you just going to bring them right from your group really into your one-on-one?
Well, I had printed off a lot of the information that you had, and I'm going through it this weekend. I'm gonna take it step by step. I would like to get some fresh people into the group and have some fresh conversations because they've been in there a while, and I've been doing kind of weekly challenges and being scared to fully promote and sell a one-on-one. So I'm like, we got to get there, girls. So let's.
I would highly suggest, and I always, this was like the main pillar of my business, because this is how people were to me, is get people on a phone call.
Right.
Say book a discovery call, say, you know, in a social media post, or if you have people say, you know what, I know that there are tons of my friends, tons, even times where I've, you know, fallen off my clean, you know, kind of eating health wagon. And if you are struggling, and if you are, you know, needing to kind of talk and see if there's a good connection between us, you know, I'm here to help. And just like practice it coming out. So where it's not like, which I did too. I was like, you know,
Yeah.
practice it to where, you know, when you're in the shower, you're practicing it. And I think we don't talk enough about that. We talk a lot about the platforms and the CRMs, but we really have to practice on owning our offers and saying them in a way that isn't salesy, because it isn't when we are being of service and you're just saying to somebody, guys, we've had a lot of funding here. I'm opening up my one-on-one. I'm so excited. And
Okay.
on your phone and being like, guys, I'm working on my weight loss program, look, and just that, just letting go of the fears and just believing in yourself and knowing that, yeah, it's a good fear, but it's what you said. Like, come on, girl, and just practice these ways, you know?
Okay. I'll do that. Definitely. I think a lot in my head. So let me practice.
I do too. I mean, that's why I always say if there's a nice slide from the challenge to even say, guys, you know what, if you are struggling, I make myself available for these 15-minute, like, get to see if we're a good fit chat. We can discuss 1, 2, 3. And that could even be, we can discuss your fat loss, your metabolism, your sleep, your skin. Truth is, everyone's struggling with that. So it's the person who has the courage to get out there and get out their own way.
Right.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. I'm super, super proud and happy for you.
Thank you.